Today on Locked On Rockies, after a very, very, very frustrating weekend for the Colorado Rockies, they come out and have a very solid game against the Houston Astros. Kind of remind you, baseball's a little bit weird sometimes.
You are Locked On Rockies, your daily Colorado Rockies podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Rock on Rockies fans, welcome into the Locked On Rockies podcast for today, the 27th day of August in the year 2025. I'm your host of the Locked On Rockies podcast, Paul Holden, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where you can find your team every day. And if your team is the Colorado Rockies, guess what? You're in the right spot. That's what we do around here each and every day, free and streaming on your favorite streaming services, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network and on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel, where you can be part of the show. You can fire off your Rockies hot takes. You can let me know what's on your mind when it comes to the Colorado Rockies, just like so many of you have been doing all season long. Like we got Felix, we got TK, we got Let the Right In, all sorts of good stuff here for you to check out and see what they're firing off here. Let's see what their comments are saying. We got talking about the front office and feeling confident about prospects developing well from Let the Right In. Felix says believing in the core of the Rockies, and TK is hoping for changes from the front office. Be part of the show. Fire off those Rockies hot takes. We love interacting with Rockies fans. Hey, it's an interesting time to be a Rockies fan right now, right? Especially as we're entering the end part of this season. I'd love to know what you're watching for, what you're looking for. What are your hopes and expectations for the Rockies towards the end of the season? As the show today will be focused on the fact that the Rockies come out and play a very, very good game against the Houston Astros. This went again overall and big picture. It might get lost, but this is a quality win. This right here, to open up this series against a good team, a team in the thick of a playoff hunt, a team at home. The Rockies come out and impress, and not only is it the offense having a nice bounce back performance, but the Rockies get solid starting pitching, something that we've seen. When the Rockies get a quality start, when the Rocky starters are able to control the zone, are able to keep them in games, the Rockies are giving themselves the chance to win. And this is an Astros team that's been playing good ball lately. This is a nice win for the Colorado Rockies. Let's not shy away from that. We'll break it all down and more on today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Before we do, got to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. I want to start this episode off, and it's kind of unfortunate here because Jordan Beck here has the 3 strikeouts on offense. It's not the greatest offensive performance. But I feel like, and again, it's not like it's Gold Glove caliber defense or anything like that. But I want to start here with a guy that I think has just kind of quietly continued to be a very solid member of the Colorado Rockies. Again, you're looking here and you're saying 3 strikeout day, but clutch defensive plays, gets the big throw early, comes up big. Jordan Beck hasn't been intimidated by the major leagues this year. He has not shied away from continuing his hot start. And again, the numbers aren't necessarily blowing you away, but I'm sitting here and I'm kind of thinking like, hey, this is a guy that continues to feel a little bit more comfortable and confident in his play. And when I'm watching Jordan Beck and I'm kind of coming to this conclusion, that's kind of true for a lot of Rockies players. I think a lot of Rockies players are starting to show that this is, again, they have a lot of work to do. They have a lot of development to do. They have a lot of work to do to get to be the best versions of themselves that they want to be the best baseball versions of themselves that they want to be. But to go into Houston and to go up against a guy that is a very solid pitcher here in a road performance after you just got dominated on the road by a solid pitching staff, and for you to throw up 6 runs, for Jordan Beck to make some huge defensive plays, including a diving stop and reading a ball perfectly in left field with that weird configuration and the big throw. there are signs here of a Rockies team becoming a little bit more confident. There is a sign of the young Rockies playing a version of baseball where they're more comfortable with kind of taking some of these risks, where they're willing to go after balls, when they're willing to kind of lay out and make some plays. And when you have that confidence, not only on defense, but the confidence to get the job done on offense as well. And it wasn't a huge performance on offense from any team here. The Rockies only had 6 hits. But here's the kicker. They score with 6. They have 6 runs. So those hits come up in clutch situations. The Rockies, usually struggling with runners in scoring position, instead go 3 for 6 with runners in scoring position, including Mickey Moniak going 2 for 2. Another guy that we can highlight here where it's like, again, look at the record, look at everything. Yes, that's important context. Yes, that is stuff that you should consider. Yes, that is stuff that you should be talking about with the Rockies. But there are young players here that are making impacts here, and that they are saying we're not just going to let the season, the record, and everything overwhelm us. We're not going to sit here and just say that the record solely defines us, and that's a good sign. Again, big scale, and we're looking at as much as I'm hyping up Jordan Beck and Mickey Moniak here. Yes, over their last 32 games, Jordan Beck's only 272 with a 364 OBP and a slugging of 408, 33 strikeouts. Not ideal, right? Absolutely not. But in that time, 14 walks, 11 RBI, 3 home runs, and 28 hits for Jordan Beck, with getting more comfortable and confident as a defender. The strikeouts are a problem. Absolutely. There are issues here. But Jordan Beck continues, I think, to take small steps where it's showing that I don't think the major league level is leaving him behind. I don't think we're sitting here and saying that Jordan Beck is not capable of making an impact at the major league level. I don't think with the total warning signs here. Now, granted, we're talking about the last 3 games for Jordan Beck. He's got 6 strikeouts, and he's only got 1 hit in that time. This is a slump, absolutely. But when we're kind of looking for things to be excited about, when we're looking for things to kind of focus on, and when overall here, Jordan Beck is still putting up a solid season, 271 average, a 333 OBP, and an OPS is 777. Of course, you want more there. 44 RBI, 14 home run, and 14 stolen bases. Yes, there's more to be desired, but we're talking about a guy that's only sitting here at 24. Mickey Moniak, a little bit older at 27. We'd maybe look to be seeing a little bit more here from him, especially when you zoom out the last 30 games for him, 263 average, an OBP of 277, and a slugging of 447. Those numbers aren't good. But we've seen Mickey Moniak come up in big situations here, and we've seen Mickey Moniak grow in confidence when he's been given ample opportunities to have consistent starts and be on the field in consistent games. I'm not saying that the Rockies' problems are all solved. That's far from it. I just think when we're again, as we're continuing to look for things to be encouraged by, there are moments to look there and say, okay, Jordan Beck might be slumping on offense, might not be contributing at the rate that we want, but he's becoming more confident and comfortable in left field. Mickey Moniak, there are plenty of question marks there, but this is a guy that's turning out to be a solid option that might round out your bench, that might round out your utility, might give you a guy that's got a big bat off the bench. In these games like we saw against the Astros, and we're not even talking about guys that really contributed in a big way here, right? Except for outside of Mickey Moniak here, who has the 3 RBIs there on 2 hits. Certainly a factor in this game. It's just a sign that this is a team that a win like this is a version of the Rockies that couldn't get this done not too long ago. This is a version, I think, of these young guys continuing to say, these are our moments. These are our opportunities. How are we going to take advantage of them? Rockies still struck out 11 times tonight, folks. Rockies only got 6 hits tonight. But again, this was Brown is a good pitcher. Brown is a very, very good pitcher. And the Rockies did their job. And again, only 2 earned runs on the night. And even with the Rockies scoring 6, the 2 errors doing the big damage. But I don't care about errors. That's putting the ball in play and making things happen. The Rockies were able to capitalize on the mistakes. And that's what good teams do. I'm not going to take it away from the Rockies for only having 2 earned runs in this game, going up against a good pitcher. Guess what? They capitalized on the mistakes that the Astros made. And when you're the Astros, you can't afford to be playing like this against the Rockies. Now, as of recording, the Mariners are still behind and not doing themselves any favors here. But if you're the Astros, you have to be incredibly frustrated at the fact that you had 2 errors in this game. You played sloppy. You played down to your opponent. The Rockies aren't going to sit. What's nice about this young Rockies team is as much as they know that they, I guess is in quotations, but as much as they're outmatched on paper, as much as they're not favored and won't be favored in any game going forward here, this is a team that hasn't given up. This is a team that shows a lot of fight, and you got to give them props to that. The teams tie at 6 apiece. The 2 errors are a huge difference maker here, but the Rockies come out on top 6-1 here. That's not the team that's not the team leading their division. That's a young team that is playing scrappier baseball, and it's highlighted by the fact that Tanner Gordon, it's bumpy, it's hit or miss, it's up and down, but this was a solid start for him. Let's dive into the numbers of Gordon's start here and continue to just say, hey, plenty of work left to be done here. But let's not take away from the fact that this is the Rockies team taking advantage of their opportunities here in this first game and setting themselves up in a situation to get a series win. When you win the first game of the series, that's an ideal spot, especially on the road for the Rockies. Set the tone. Give yourself an opportunity to get the job done. And that's what the Rockies did here. Let's talk about Tanner Gordon and more coming up next on today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Before we do that, though, got to tell you about the folks that help make this show possible, and that includes Gametime. Gametime's got you covered here. I clicked the wrong button here. Let me get you the right one there. Gametime's got you covered here because there's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person, but actually getting tickets, that's the tough part. Queues, login screens, surprise fees. Takes all the fun out of it. That's why I use Gametime, the app that gives the advantage back to fans. Gametime is fast, easy, and backed by the Gametime guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered to you on time and at the best price. Got me into the All-Star games, folks. That's where I saw Elias Diaz hit a big fly. I know that's I know I bring it up, but that's just such an important moment, and it's thanks to Gametime. You're going to get those authentic 100% guaranteed tickets delivered on time at the best price. All the fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. Not only that, you're going to see your view from the seat. You're going to know exactly where you're sitting. You're going to know exactly what you're paying for. You're going to know everything you need to know before you head out to the ballpark. And it's not just the ballpark, the theater, the concert, whatever big event you are going to, Gametime's got you covered. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket. Go download Gametime today. That's not all, folks. We're brought to you also by FanDuel. The NFL season is almost here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. And that means you can just do something simple, something easy, something you know that's going to hit with that $5 bet. Maybe it's not the big money you're hoping for, but it's going to cash in and get you that $300 in bonus bets. Boom. If you missed out on FanDuel future days, you still can get some futures in there. Use those bonus bets for some futures. Let that pay off down the line. You can bet however you like. Player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping in on the live action as it unfolds. It makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet for a shot at $300 in bonus bets to use across FanDuel and FanDuel.com. Locked on Rockies here, back with you for segment number 2, enjoying a nice 6-1 victory for the Colorado Rockies here. Only 6 hits, tied apiece there, but again, 2 errors, the difference maker in this series. And we got to give credit where credit is due. Tanner Gordon goes out there, 93 pitches there, throws 58 of them for strikes, gives up the early home run, picks up 5 strikeouts there. The thing that the thing that's driving me nuts with Rockies starters right now, and again, I don't want to take away from Tanner Gordon here. 1 earned run across 6 innings is exactly what this Rockies bullpen need. And Mejia is not immune to this. Neither is Hergen. Too many walks. You just can't be walking 3 people there for Gordon. You got to be hitting the zone. And there were some close pitches there. I saw some situations where some framing, some stuff that was close, absolutely. But 6 walks is just absolutely unacceptable, especially when you're talking about with 6 walks, that doubles the hit total there for the Houston Astros. And for the Rockies to be successful here in navigating that traffic, navigating those free passes there is a sign of, again, them being able to kind of handle the adversity, rise up to the challenge, and be a team that is not avoiding the challenges, the issues, the complexities of a back and forth game there. But 6 walks just can't get the job done. But at the same time, 6 hits there and only allowing the 1 earned run, getting the job done, getting the ball in play when they needed to, being able to rely on your defense. Brenton Doyle and Jordan Beck having a very solid performance in center and left field there, being able to track things down, make some sliding catches when they need to. Again, this is a win that it's really good to see here. This is a win, and this is a game that certainly could have gotten out of hand for the Rockies here. It's certainly a situation where you're outmatched on paper and you're going up against a very solid pitcher. And instead, the Rockies turn to their young guy, Tanner Gordon, who's now got himself to 500 on the season with 5-5, and they're able to get the job done. They're able to execute. It's a reminder. It's a sign that when this team executes, when this team plays at their best abilities, they're able to compete. I'm not saying they're better than the Astros. Far from it. I'm just saying they can play competitive baseball and keep themselves in there. And it starts when the starter sets the tone. For the Rockies to get 6 innings of only 1 run ball from Gordon is just so important. We have seen so many times that the Rockies have been so far behind, multiple innings behind, multiple runs behind in the first frames of the game. That's a lot to ask for a young offense. That's a lot to ask for a young team. And instead, the Rockies are able to build on and get the big moments and capitalize on the mistakes of the Astros. Something that you might have missed, and something that I really should have put on the rundown on the side here for the Rockies here, is the news that was breaking during the broadcast. At least I hadn't seen any of this beforehand. Antonio Senzatella is no longer a starter for the Colorado Rockies. A massive shakeup here. Antonio Senzatella is now going to be out of the bullpen for the Rockies here. So as the rotation continues to shake up, as the rotation continues to deal with a lack of performance for the most part, this is a very, very interesting development here as the Rockies are looking for change. And I also got to own up to a little bit of a mistake that I had. I was reading some of the contracts, and I believe I said on yesterday's podcast that Kyle Freeland and Antonio Senzatella are making $20 million. I was not correct. And let me rectify that incorrect information here by reading a tweet from Patrick Lyons. Following several moves this past month, here are the top Rocky salaries on the 26-man roster as per FG, so Fangraphs. Kyle Freeland, $16 million. Antonio Senzatella, $12 million. Ezekiel Tovar, $4.2. Kyle Farmer, $3.25. Mickey Moniak, $1.25. All others make less than $1 million. So I just wanted to throw that out there in case you were wondering, like, are you sure about that? Because when you're wrong, like when you're wrong, well, I want to own up to being wrong here. But I want to throw out another stat here from Patrick Lyons. Tanner Gordon became the second Rockies pitcher to ever allow at least 17 runs and 23 hits in a 2-start span earlier this month. Now he's gone toe-to-toe with Shohei Ohtani and Hunter Brown and more than held his own in back-to-back starts. 12 innings pitched, 10 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts. Hell yeah. That's the type of stuff you want to see. You want to see Gordon build off this throughout the rest of the season. It's not just a stretch of 2 games. You want to see that build and continue to grow and keep that momentum rolling. As again, the record, it's so frustrating that the Rockies in the second half of the season have not been able to shake the thing where, oh, here's this great stretch, and then multiple game losing streak. Bad weekend of baseball, long stretch of bad baseball. They haven't been able to kind of make it so that it's more of a smaller scale of like, okay, let's, win a series, lose a series, win a series, lose a series, kind of something that's a little bit more on that line. It's like, oh, here's the Rockies going on a heater at home. Oh, they just score 1 run across 3 games in Pittsburgh and go on a multi-game losing streak. They've gone a multiple 8-game losing streaks. I would love to see the Rockies just kind of hang in there. And again, like we said in yesterday's podcast, the Rockies are playing playoff caliber talent for the rest of the season outside of a handful of series. The Rockies are mostly matching up against teams that are in playoff positions, playoff hunts. So it'd be really good to see, instead of it having to be like, oh, here's the losing streak, it's snapped. It'd be nice to just kind of see, it's like, all right, you don't win a series, you lose a series, you win a series, just kind of go with that and get it into that kind of more normalcy, instead of it being so prolonged of tough stretch of multiple games of a full series getting swept, something like that, into breaking it here, kind of just breaking that up and to just showing off that you can be a little bit more consistent with that competitive nature that you have shown in the second half of the season. So, a couple of things to just recap there, but a wonderful, wonderful night for the Rockies here in game 1. Again, not necessarily blowing the doors of out and doing everything crazy impressive, but capitalizing on your opportunities, getting the job done. Hunter Goodman launching a ball into the stratosphere, hitting another home run. The Rockies getting 2 hits from Caros there. Moniak driving in 3. Tyler Freeman driving in some runs. Still, again, only 6 hits for the Rockies and 11 strikeouts. A long way to go when you're talking about a performance where you're feeling confident and good about it. But this is a win against a good team, against a division leader, against a team that's got their eyes set on the biggest prize. And the Rockies did some surprising here in this game 1. How will they handle game 2? Let's talk about that coming up next on today's episode of Locked On Rockies. Before we do that, though, got to tell you about the folks that help make this show possible, and that includes Upside. Locked On Rockies fans, are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump. Use the limited time promo code SEASON, SEASON, and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You can make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already need. At first, you might think it'd be too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift gift card for Amazon and other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now by using the limited time promo code SEASON for limited time. 25% gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON. Offers vary by users and location. Go to upside.com. That's upside.com for terms and conditions. What up, Rockies fans? Thank you so much for making us your first listen of the day. We're free and streaming on your favorite streaming services. Wanted to also bring this up, folks. We are asking for your help. We have an important request. Locked On wants to hear from you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcasts, like the Locked On Rockies podcasts, even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to lockedonpodcasts.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes a survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcasts.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. Thank you for helping us out. All right. Wrapping things up for today's episode of Locked On Rockies, as the Rockies are going to be hunting their second win in this series, trying to win the series here. It's a 3-game set against Houston. They got 2 more chances to win. And this would be a really great, as we're talking about growth moments, as we're talking about confidence, it'd be really great to see Chase Dollander go out here and have a successful start for the Colorado Rockies. They're going to hope to turn to him here and look in a situation where they're able to get the job done. Because Chase, unfortunately, hasn't been great, but we know he's better on the road. The one thing we'd like to see here is a better control, we don't want to see walks from Chase Dollander here in this second game. And as much as the Rockies got away with it in game 1, I don't think they're going to be able to get away with it in game 2 here. If you're going to allow those free passes, those free passes, and allow a team, again, as the Rockies are allowing 300 batting average to the opposition here, can't let the Astros have another opportunity here with free passes, especially not in a situation when you're doubling the hit total with walks. Got to execute, got to hit your spots, got to be able to get the job done if you're Chase Dollander. On the other side, Framber Valdez, the Rockies going up against another quality starter here. As we mentioned in the first episode here of this series, the Houston Astros pitching staff is a good one, a solid across the board there, getting high marks across the board. 11-7 for Valdez, 3.32 ERA with a WHIP of 1.21. That's over 157 innings pitched. He's allowed 136 hits, so not necessarily immune to letting up some hits here, but striking out 153 here. We're talking about nearly a strikeout per inning for Framber Valdez, something that is not necessarily a recipe for success for the Rockies. They struck out 11 times here in that first game, but that doesn't mean you're going to be able to replicate that, right? 54 walks, so an opportunity maybe for the Rockies to be able to get some free passes there, not necessarily a ratio where you say got a control or a walk problem. The big thing that'll be an interesting one here, 9 home runs only allowed for Valdez. So the Rockies are going to have to execute probably without launching the ball out of the yard. 16 home runs allowed for Chase Dollander here against an Astros team that's certainly going to be licking their chops and looking at themselves in a situation where they say, we can't afford to be losing games to this team. We got to come out swinging. We got to be aggressive, especially against a young rookie pitcher here. So especially against a guy that is, maybe in a situation where the confidence is a little bit shaken here. So the Rockies need that. The Rockies are going to have a chance here as far as their starting pitching goes. And if their starting pitching is not going to go very far, well, that is not going to be a recipe for success for the Colorado Rockies. We'll be breaking it all down, reacting to it all here on Locked On Rockies. Let me know what's on your mind when it comes to the Colorado Rockies and more on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel. Go off and fire off your Rockies hot takes there. For your second listen of the day, go check out Locked On MLB and Locked On MLB Game Night for coverage around the league. And if you need more Colorado sports coverage, Locked On Broncos, Avalanche, Nuggets, and Buffs, all free and streaming on your favorite streaming services. Until next time, I'm Paul Holden saying so long from the Locked On Rockies podcast.